You are the Holy Grail, the Magdalene. Woman, no need to search any longer. The priest is...
Welcome to the Woman Arising podcast, hosted by Kathy Hartenstein and Zephy Devi, where we elevate and celebrate inspiring women on the rise. In this podcast, we talk to women from all walks of life about their soul's journey, the obstacles they overcame, and how they embody their feminine power. We hope to elevate women's place in the world, showcase their contributions, and provide inspiration for all women to rise to their fullest potential. Today, our guest is Nancy Nazmy, a distinguished travel industry leader. With over 25 years of experience specializing in creating spiritual trips to Egypt, India, Morocco, Turkey, and Jordan. As the CEO of Divine Journeys Travel, she has dedicated her career to crafting profound and transformative travel experiences. Born into a world of iconic shamans, archaeologists, and world-renowned figures, Nancy has a deep-rooted passion for spiritual journeys, particularly those in her home country of Egypt. Nancy holds a bachelor's degree in integrated marketing communications from the American University in Cairo and a master's degree from the London School of Business and Finance. Her diverse professional experiences include roles with Sony Pictures as an assistant film director, casting assistant director for NBC Channel talent shows, human resources communication assistant director, and university lecturer. In each of these roles, she focused on understanding and connecting with people, allowing her to design journeys that touch the soul. Nancy is also a devoted mother of 2 toddlers, a 6-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. She firmly believes that being a mom should not hinder one's dreams or path in life. Her children are her best travel companions and cheerleaders, inspiring her every day. Welcome, Nancy. It is our honor to have you with us today. We are excited to hear about your life's journey and how you've inspired and transformed the lives of those who embark on the journeys you create.
I'm really honored and grateful to be part of that podcast. A beautiful intro and for having me, because I believe that women to women support makes all the change that the world needs.
I know a little bit about you and I know your background, and you had a major figure in your life like your father, but also when you hear women arising, because the masculine it was also very important in your life, but when you hear women arising, how's that making you feel? What is that first feeling that you get, how do you see women rising? What is it meaning to you? What does it mean to you?
That's a very deep question, and let me tell you, the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear this woman arising, it kind of evokes a powerful image of a woman standing tall and embracing her strength and claiming her place in the world, that she knows her value and she knows the challenges she might face, but still she does not surrender, or she believes that she has the power to inspire and uplift and make a difference in the world. So that actually what comes to my mind the minute you say woman arising.
That's amazing. And also, I have a question. Do you feel that can be connected very strongly to Isis, because she was that kind of powerful goddess energy that, Egypt is, I don't know, a stronghold of that?
I'd say yes, and I wouldn't say, honestly, I wouldn't say only Isis, because in every goddess, whether she had all the values in that power, but in every goddess there was that power and the weak side, from which we will learn how to overcome our challenges and barriers, and yes, there would be some downs, but how to stand up again and rise.
Yeah. It's really, really, you're right. It's all the goddesses. It's not just Isis. It's all the goddesses. But, she's got a strong hold of what she did for, for the masculine and how she rides stuff.
Isis actually and Hathor both hold a very special place in my heart because I think they have learned how to be in control of their feminine power. And still, I mean, they had that balance. They did act out, but still they have this feminine and gentle energy. So they are the perfect balance that I wish we can attain.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I love Hathor too. So we're there in the same place.
I really love your answer. I think you summed it up so beautifully about how important it is for us to claim that feminine power, but also in discussing those goddesses to find that balance, because it is a big part of how we navigate the world and who we are, all of us together. We talk about women arising, but it is also about men embracing that feminine energy as well. So finding that balance can be really important.
I felt more connected to my feminine essence and my feminine power during my travels, particularly when interacting with local women. Their experiences reinforce the strength, I would say, and the resilience inherent in women. I mean, it taught me that in embracing our feminine qualities, whether nurturing, intuition, empathy, they can lead to a profound personal and professional growth in all levels.
I love that. I love that there's so much to see in each other and in how we really kind of embody those things that make that big difference in sort of bringing that feminine energy forward, which is very powerful. In learning all about you, I was just so impressed with all the many, many different aspects of your life. And, from getting involved in media and entertainment and then travel and going to all of these sacred divine places and sort of that intersection with the spirituality. I'd love to hear about your journey and how you kind of got to where you are today, where you started as a young person, and then kind of how you discovered some of the things that you were passionate about and turned them into reality.
I'll honestly be very grateful to my father. If it was not for him, I was not going to be who I am today. And that's why I'm saying that the balance between feminine and masculine energy and the males in our society. I mean, my father was very different than how fathers or men in my country and in my world are. But he raised me up because he had lived in the United States for almost 10 years. And he already had been in that travel industry for years. So he wanted to bring me up differently, not only that you're here to study and then get married and then have children and full stop. You have a life and you're just equal to any other human being in that world, man or woman. And for having him, I was lucky that I was already born surrounded in a world of iconic shamans, archaeologists, popular figures. And that, I think, shaped big part of me because I grew up as well, not, how would I say that? Not seeing people as if like, wow, no, we're all pieces of the puzzle. I mean, maybe growing up among them made me feel that we're all one, and you don't have to grow up feeling that you are a step back because you're a woman. So I think this is the environment that cultivated my passion for spiritual journeys, because I remember the first circle I ever attended was in the Holy of the Holies in the Karnak Temple with Nikki Scully. And I mean, as a child, I didn't understand what is that, but they were they were very welcoming to support and introduce me to that. And I really felt it because it's something you have to feel it. It's not something that you will gain by experience or you will learn. It's something that you get blessed with, initiated into it. So, and I can, looking back at my life, I would see I've been taking on various roles with one core thing, which is all emphasizing on the human connection.
Oh,
So this diverse experience, I think it shaped my approach to travel and my dedication in creating a transformative journey, because we're here in that this life, at least it's a journey.
mm-hmm.
So how to make the best out of it and how to connect to yourself. We don't get that time. We don't get that pausing time. We just keep running in a cycle.
Yeah. And why travel? What was it about travel specifically?
Because we don't get to know the other side of the world. We only hear about the US or Australia, or the West side would hear about the Arab countries. And they just hear. They didn't see, they didn't experience, they didn't live. And by the media or through the media, we get to create boundaries and we get to create stereotypes about one another without really experiencing who we are. So when we get to meet, when we get to connect, when you get to come to Egypt or I come to the US, it's the same. But there are some countries that are really controversial. So when you come and visit that country and have that experience, that I have no doubt that doesn't leave a big impact on your heart, you go back home, not only that you are transformed, but you will transform the people around you, because the next time you hear the word Egypt, you would say, I've been there. Let me tell you how it was.
Right.
So I think that's the key. If I would want to have a very tiny role in the world to leave behind me, it's the key of connection that could lead and would definitely lead to world peace, because we got to know one another. It's not what the media wants to convey or through footage or editing or no, we have seen and we have known and we have experienced. So that connection would made me feel, oh, Kathy, I know her. Oh, but she's American. Yeah, but I know her. She's not labeled with her country or religion. That's why my father just had a book called "Love Is My Religion," which is how I was brought up, because love is the one unique language that you cannot misunderstand. Even if we don't speak the same language, the same color, the same whatever, you're not labeled with anything except having love in between us.
I love that love is my religion. Is that just that title kind of gave me shivers, it really spoke to me. I really resonated with me. And I think it's really important. And I love how you're talking about, like, let's know each other, let's see each other, let's connect with each other and remember and honor our humanity with each other. And I think that is a really beautiful path. And I love that it's about travel, because it makes perfect sense. As you sort of embarked on this and built a very successful company, and it sounds like your father instilled a little bit of fearlessness in you as well, because of that foundation of love and saying, yes, you can be all that you are destined to be. What were some of the obstacles that you faced along the way? What were some of the things that really you had to overcome and that maybe shaped you in that way?
Yeah, he shaped me up in a way that I could overcome the challenges, but that does not mean that there was no challenges, because in our country, you would face a lot of I would say, bias, gender bias, especially in the professional sphere. But maybe I didn't phrase that as much because, again, I'm grateful to my father. He didn't allow that to happen. But and let me tell you that I already have been working with my father since I was an undergrad. But all the other jobs that I have been doing, why did he make me do that? Because he wanted me to face and see how the world is going around, or how my country and my society are going around. Because to be honest, he paved a big portion of the path in the travel business for me, for him, just for being his daughter.
Mm.
He was insisting that I have to get engaged in other jobs with other people to experience that bias and to experience the obstacles and how I would overcome them, because we are in a male-dominated society.
And so what were some of the specific things that you really felt you were able to tackle?
And you might not get hired because, oh, you're pregnant? Oh, so you're going to have a baby, so you cannot be with us because soon you will be busy. Or, oh, we prefer a single woman because she would have more time than a married woman who might be not managing her time. I mean, it's all stereotyping, and you get to being labeled just because you're a woman.
Gotcha.
And let me share something that is very personal, but I want to share it. Maybe it would ring a bell to other women who would be listening to us. I have a brother who is younger than me by 7 years, and despite that, I have more experience than him, and I have, and I have been in the business since forever. When my father passed away, inheritance in our law gives the boy twice the girl. So he wanted to take over because he has the experience or the know-how, but he wanted to take over because he cannot accept as a man. His ego cannot allow him that my sister is a step ahead of me, or she is the CEO. And he said that, he fairly admitted that she is way better in advance than I am, but as a man in my society, I just have to be that title because I'm a man. And that was a challenge. I mean, and again, if I was not brought up by my father, by that man with his vision, I would have surrendered, and I would have just stayed home when I got married, but that was never the case. Although my father was the one who told me, when you get your babies, whenever you got your babies, you have to pause for a while, because at this early stage of their life, it's not going to be repeated, and they need you the most, more than anything in the world. So that's the balance I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When to devote your life to which role at what time. So being a mother will not hinder you from succeeding or stepping forward at all, but just know when to be doing what, and you will not miss out. You will not be left out. So motherhood is never a burden. On the contrary, for me, it's a plus, and it's an inspiration, and it's a push forward. And so I think that's very important for women today to realize.
I agree. I think a lot of women are always trying to balance maybe the career or their outward energy with being a parent, and finding that kind of way to integrate it all and have it be in flow. And I think it's a big question for a lot of women, figuring out what that looks like for them. And it is personal, and it is for each woman to kind of forge their own path with that balance when they choose both. And so I think sharing your story is really great, because I think it helps people sort of look at that for themselves as well. And you talked a little bit about this, how in your society there's a lot of expectations for men and how they kind of relate to women. And, you really created some new models in your society for some of that with how you're sort of pursuing and that you were raised that way. But how did you really overcome that? Because that's a big thing, right? A lot of times, and it's across the world, sexism, right? A lot of women get marginalized or not given certain opportunities or not given the same respect. And as women, we're always navigating that. But in your culture, sounds like that might be even a little bit more prevalent at times. Probably not in every instance, but how did you really deal with sort of those instances? I know you talked about the situation with your brother, but were there others?
I would say, if I wish that someone give me a piece of advice on that or guidance on that, it would be to trust your instincts and never be afraid to take risks.
Mm.
And embracing uncertainty and believing in your potentials that you would want to pursue your passions. That's the key word. Don't give up or don't step back because someone wants you to do that. Yeah, have the confidence to navigate the challenges with the assurance that you will be able to make it because you will be challenged. We're not in a pinky life. You will be challenged. So it's your role and your perspective about your own self. I never, ever gave up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I had downs. Yes, I had days of hesitance and fear, and that's normal. Don't think you're a superhero. That's very normal. But deal with it.
Right.
Don't let it stop you. And don't think that you're alone in this world. Being down, it's okay not to be okay.
I love that. And taking risks and being brave and believing in yourself, those are such powerful thoughts and things that I think we all struggle with sometimes. So I think it's really beautiful advice.
We really have to because women really are a unique blend of different opposite things even. We are a blend of a mix of things that are invaluable. So we just have to believe and trust who we really are and never give up and never let anything or anyone convince you that because you are that, then you're not up to it. No. If you have the passion, if it's what you feel called to, don't let anything hold you back.
That's pretty powerful. Absolutely. And I think a lot of women struggle with trying to find our power of standing up. And I think in my experience and in my life, a lot of it has to do with how strong we are as women. And when we discover our feminine power, it's the most important thing. So can you describe a time that you felt really connected to your feminine power?
I think I'm mostly connected to my feminine power when I'm leading groups. And because usually on my groups, I have an opening circle where I allow people to share why they came here. Why are they here now? And with every story that is shared on the first day versus the last day, I feel that I made a change that relates to my feminine power. And let me explain that a little bit in detail because males are more practical. They wouldn't touch your soul as deeply as we women would feel one another.
Mm-hmm.
Except for my father. I know he did that. He could reach that. But really in our society and in the world, you find it very challenging that men would feel that. So every time I look at any of my group members and I feel this transformation in her heart, and she tells me it's because of you, I am reminded of how my feminine power allowed me to do this, because in a second, I remember if it was a man, he wouldn't have been able to do it the same way.
Yeah, it's interesting when we connect, you know, in those special trips that you do, and you know, I do also. And one day we're going to do one together. That's a promise.
Sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, but you're right. It's just connecting the first day. It's so important because it's not just connecting just because you do a tour, but also connecting with women. It's like that first moment. And then the women, you know, we all kind of feel the energy. And the masculine, you know, you get able to connect with them, but I think they hold back a lot because, you know, your father didn't, but, you know, your father was open and happy. The one time that I met him, or twice, I think. But so what is unique about you feel about your feminine power? How do you cultivate your own feminine power? That how do you feel when you feel it? You know what I mean? I'm trying to ask the question in a simple way, but I feel it is very powerful when you feel it. What do you do with it? You know, how do you open up? How do you makes you feel?
It makes me stay more grounded, and it allows me to connect with others on a deeper level, I would say.
What about you? How do you navigate that within yourself? What do you do for
How do I celebrate my own feminine power?
That's a beautiful way to put it. How you celebrate. Yes, I love that.
I reward myself. I give myself the time to play, just to have fun, to enjoy who I am, not to be ashamed, not to, because let me mention that as well. In our society, they are not very open in what you wear and how you show up in the world, and you have to be a bit more conservative. I actually do the total opposite. I celebrate myself. I celebrate how I look, how my body looks, with its scars, with its heaviness, with its whatever. I celebrate being me, and I get the time to play with no boundaries or responsibilities or setbacks. No, I just celebrate being me. And my ultimate happiness is getting to connect with more people.
Amazing.
And being with my kids, by the way, is one of the most challenging things, but it's where I feel my feminine power the most.
Mm-hmm. So being a mother wakes up this feminine energy. Your children is the ones that really wake up your feminine energy within you, correct? It's not always the masculine, correct? Because most women say, oh, the man is the one who makes me feel feminine. But our children is also the ones just going through the birth and going through everything that we go with them. It's really a full power of the feminine. We're in full power at that moment.
True. And actually, it's a very interesting time when I was blessed with my kids, because I lost my parents. I mean, I delivered my baby girl, and then a few weeks later, I lost my father. And then a year later, I got my son, and a few weeks later, I lost my mom.
Wow.
So it was very challenging, very tough phase in my life. But I always see my kids, they are a clear message and a clear blessing that they arrive to the world to cheer me up before I lose another very dear person to me. So whenever I get stressed, I remind myself that these two came and the most divine time that I needed them. And it was just not like I got my babies. They were there for a reason on that timing. My father got to see my daughter and then he left happily. My mother got to see my son and then she left. So as if they are making sure everything is settled and okay before they transition. So motherhood is challenging, but it is where you can practice your feminine power the most, and remember that you one day they will be looking up to you and you will be their role model. So I feel I own the world when I am playing my motherhood part.
That's really amazing. So, what would you say for young mothers or young women that trying to really, figure out where they belong and what they should do for their lives? And of course, older ones. It's not just young ones, but normally, because I think the young ones is the ones that actually need to kind of, put their footing in the right place. Also,
I would say I would tell them actually what I do tell my little daughter, that life will present challenges, but it's how we respond to these challenges is what defines us. And that's a lesson how we shape our world. And that you need to embrace who you are, whatever this whole you, whatever is in there, just embrace it with all your strengths and with all your imperfections and everything. Just embrace being you. There is no guidebook and there's no catalog to abide by. You are you, and you are loved for whom you are, whatever you are. Whoever tells you something else, thank you. It's their thing. It's not yours. You are here every day to tell yourself, I am who I am. And I love who I am. And embrace your imperfections and work on them, because we're not 100% perfect. But don't let that grab you or pull you down. On the contrary, let it guide you and let it inspire you, and never allow anyone to have a negative impact on you. On the contrary, have yourself always reminded with the impacts you can have on the world.
Mm-hmm. I have one more question, because I love that answer. What would you say to your little daughter? Because she's the next generation of women. But in your country, we also have, the masculine is gone through a lot of changes and transitions. So what would you say to your son right now, through knowing where you came from, struggling with the masculine?
I tell him the same thing, in addition to how to define being a man. Being a man is being gentle and being giving and being strong enough to embrace the woman in front of you, whether she's your mother, whether she's your sister, she's your girlfriend, she's whatever. I let him allow his emotions out, and that he learns that his biggest strength in life is being of a support and an aid to a woman.
Oh, that's very powerful.
Yeah, that is. And I think you're creating that balance that we talked about at the beginning of the interview through instilling all of this into your children, which I think is really a powerful thing. You were talking a little bit about how you lost both your parents simultaneously of giving birth to your children. And I think that is sort of that cycle of life, death, birth, rebirth kind of thing. And to have to hold the grief and the excitement and celebration all at the same time is a very powerful thing. I think other people have experienced that, but I also think it's somewhat unique as well, to sort of be in that particular moment. So thank you for sharing that. Zephy asked you a lot about the advice, you'd give to your son and to your daughter. But my question for you is like, what advice do you wish somebody had given to you that you maybe would have been really helpful for you? It sounds like your father was pretty good at it, but what advice do you wish somebody had given to you, in your life?
It's actually opposite to what my father taught me, because my father taught me that you have to be to whatever challenge. You don't need to depend on anyone. You're up to doing anything. You can do that on your own. So I grew up not being able to delegate or let go or ask for help or say, oh, I cannot do that, or I'm tired. Please do that. So I would say to myself, it's a note to self that ask for help. You're not gonna be able to do everything. And let your feminine energy be out. I mean, it's fine just to live like, pampered and get spoiled. It's okay to be spoiled. Let your man open the car door for you. Let him carry things for you. I mean, just be a lady. It's fine. It's okay. You can let go of some of their responsibilities. It's fine. Even if they're not going to do it 100% the way you want. It's okay. But just let go of it. Lay back and do nothing. It's okay to relax.
I think that's powerful, because I think part of being in your feminine energy is receiving, right? Is being able to receive. And so a lot of the times when we're sort of thrust into these worlds of trying to make it, especially maybe that aren't designed for women as well, we can, put on this thing of like, we can do it all ourselves, like you're talking about. But actually, by able to receive that help and allow for that help is quite powerful. And people enjoy giving us things and supporting us and helping us. And it's a gift sometimes to receive, even though we feel like, oh, so.
And Kathy, let me tell you this, and feel worth of receiving.
Yes.
It's not that someone is doing a favor. You are worth of receiving that. So don't say, oh, no, don't do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take care of it. No. Step back one step. Yes, please. I'm allowing to receive. And you would feel really happy the moment that you let go of something and like, okay, someone is taking care of it for me.
I think it's really, really powerful, actually. And I think a lot of people need to hear that, because I think we tend to not always believe in our own worth in that way that you're talking about. And also sometimes it's really hard for us to let go and just receive. Wow, you've shared so many beautiful insights with us today, Nancy, and I'm just so thrilled. And I'm curious, like, how can people get in touch with you? How could people experience some of these amazing adventures and travels that you take people on? And even just to tell us a little bit about them, like, what are some of the kinds of things people get to do when they do this? Because it does sound incredibly special, some of the things that you're offering.
Where to start? I mean, when we do these trips together, people get to feel, I mean, I remember one guest or group member before told me, I feel that I own Egypt. We get to do private visits, sacred sites. We get to have like the whole Great Pyramid in the King's Chamber to ourselves, to have sunrise by the Sphinx, to have Isis temple, as long as we mentioned Isis at the beginning, all to ourselves, having our ceremony and our ample time there and getting to witness sunrise there and feeling the light getting through your body and having that time to connect with one another and doing breathwork practices. And I mean, you name it. You get pampered from the minute you arrive to the airport till the minute you leave. I mean, even sometimes when people come and we tell them, leave the luggage, we're going to take care of it. They're like, no, we will take it. We're like, no, You're just here to be connecting to yourself. Don't think about anything. Just experience what you're getting and let it be. And they start trusting and letting go. And the sites we visit are very sacred and powerful, that they really get to experience various experiences. I mean, from crying and breaking down and letting go of traumas. And so these sites have the energy that we need to receive and connect with.
So how do people get in touch with you?
They can get in touch through our email, which is contact@divinejourneystravel.com.
And the website's www.divinejourneys.com.
Exactly.
Great. Well, just getting to know you today, and I know Zeffy has worked with you so many different times, but I recommend, going on these trips. I can't wait to go one day. It just sounds so amazing. I'm like, I want to go in those temples and experience that. And I love this idea that, like, I don't do anything. I just show up and everything's taken care of for me. That sounds heavenly, actually.
Well, we will soon. Just take the first flight and come, and you have a sister in that country that you come and visit.
I really love your approach because it is about transformation. It is about going into an other space, like you talked about, going with shamans and archaeologists. And to me, it seems like those two are really married in the work that you're doing, where you're going to these ancient sacred sites, but you're really bringing in this deep spiritual experience that's a part of it. And that's exciting. I think that's extremely exciting. I know Zeffy does very similar types of things as well, but it's important work, I think, very important work.
That's the key, it's to connect with the people all over the place.
It's wonderful. Well, thank you, Nancy. We cannot thank you enough for the great, wonderful wisdom you shared with us today, the beauty of the work that you do, and the energy that you bring to the people that you meet. So thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast today.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share my journey with you and with all the women out there. And it's really has been a heart-to-heart, warm and wonderful connection and conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We're honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Woman Arising, where we celebrate the resilience, wisdom, and power of women on the rise. Remember, when women rise, we all rise. If you're ready to embark on your journey of empowerment, sign up for our mailing list at womenarising.com and join our community of strong, inspiring women. To connect with Zeffy Devi and ignite your inner fire, visit zeffydevi.com and sign up to get your free tantric meditation. Let Zeffy illuminate your path, helping you discover the magic and power that reside within you. To connect with Kathy Hartenstein and claim your spectacularness, visit createmorebliss.com and sign up for a free 30-minute consult call where she can help you break through your emotional blocks to success. Let Kathy be your guide on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Thank you for being a part of the Women Arising community. Together, let's continue to uplift, inspire, and empower women everywhere. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and keep embracing the divine feminine power that resides within you.
You are the Holy Grail, the Magdalene. Woman, no need to search any longer.